Hey, and welcome back to another video. So in this video, I have for you a Blackberry Z30 Prototype that I got off Mercari a couple of months ago. I was supposed to post this video some time back, but I keep forgetting. The Z30 was announced in September of 2013 and launched in October of 2013. And this seems to be a prototype sent out to AT&T for their network evaluation. This thing is in no form or shape or form a hardware prototype. It's exactly the same in terms of hardware when compared to the final model. But as you can see, it's missing some apps. It's missing gallery, it's missing music, and it's missing some stuff. Like I said, it's an evaluation unit for AT&T. As you can see with the AT&T logo there, but I have confirmed that this thing is exactly the same as the final launch model. So we'll take a closer look at this thing and I'll post some pictures from its cameras and stuff and we'll see how it's like. But before we jump right in, don't forget to smash that like button as always and hit that subscribe button if you already haven't and you want to see more content like this. And also check out my social media down in the description below. And now let's jump right into this. I'm just throwing this in the middle right here. If you guys want to see a full-scale hardware development prototype, you can go ahead and check out this video. That phone is a Nokia N8 prototype, a Nokia N8 mid-development prototype. Now, unlike this phone, that phone has a lot of differences when compared to the final model, and I actually compare it to a retail version of the N8 in that video. So if you really want to see a full-scale hardware prototype, you can go ahead and check out that video. It was in the card above, and it was I've also included it in the link down in the description below, and it's on my channel as well. So that is an actual hardware prototype from probably mid-development on the Nokia N8. So let's first have a quick go around of this prototype, and like I said, it is exactly identical to the final model, except it has some writing at the bottom, not for sale, number 81. So since this is a three-figure, there could have been more than 100 of these probably sent out to AT&T and all the other carriers, app developers, stuff like that. So this one is number 81. The serial number is here. I covered it up. 00, definite on any serial number. 00 is a dead giveaway that it is a prototype. Only prototypes have zeros in their at the beginning of their serial numbers. So at the front we have the camera, the speaker grill, the display. It's an AMOLED display. We'll talk about it in a bit. God damn it! Why do I keep tongue twisting that Blackberry? The BlackBerry logo down there, not for sale, serial number. You don't get the not for sale thing and the serial number on the final model, but this one does have it. On the final model, this is just a simple piece of silver, well, grayish plastic. So this is just on the prototype. On this side, we have our volume rockers, volume up and down. We also have the BlackBerry Assistant button, so you can press that down and the BlackBerry Assistant comes up. Two microphones. This phone has an overall of 4 microphones, so 4 microphones in total. 2 of them are over here. I don't know exactly why, but I guess that's what they did with this phone. They put 4 microphones on it and 2 on the side for who knows what. That's the same on the final model. Power button up top, 3.5mm headphone jack. On this side, we have our micro USB port and an HDMI port for output and all sorts of other stuff. It was a business phone from 2013. Wireless output was not the best at the time. It was not even close to as modern day AirDrop and all that stuff, sharing through wireless methods. So for a business phone, if you wanted to share your presentation, you can plug it in. I think this phone shipped with an HDMI cable. I cannot confirm, but whatever. So at the bottom we have well, basically we have nothing. We have just a place to put your finger and pull the back cover off like that. I also forgot to mention there is another microphone hidden here vaguely up front, obviously for the calling for you to basically call people, because the microphones being on the side there wouldn't make any sense. So there is a microphone down there. It's very vague, as you can see there. At the back, AT&T branding, BlackBerry branding, camera with a single LED flash, stereo speakers, so 1 grill up here, 2 grills up here. The bottom speaker is slightly larger than the top speaker. Let me take the cover off. non-removable battery. The back cover comes off only because of the SIM card and the micro SD expansion slots. I mean, they could have technically put 2 flaps on there and made the phone waterproof, but I don't know. That was just their decision. BlackBerry branding here, and as you can see, even more proof that this is a prototype and not just a dev kit phone. BlackBerry X00. The Z30, as far as I can see online, was never released as a dev kit phone. It was not available to the public like a couple of other phones. I do have a BlackBerry Leap, but I don't have it on me right now. I sent it back home. I could have compared it to that as well, but I don't have that now. So this is definitely a software prototype and not a dev kit phone. Because it says X00, IMEI number and some other stuff there. Property of Research in Motion. Research in Motion is just another way of saying the BlackBerry Corporation in Canada. It says made in Canada over here, but there's a bunch of other numbers. I don't know exactly what they are, so I covered it up. So this phone is made in Canada, not in China. Non-removable battery, as you saw there. So that's just a quick go around of the physical appearance and stuff of the phone. On the inside, everything is similar, except some of the apps and stuff are missing, obviously. So now let's start talking about like general stuff such as the display and everything else. So the display on this thing is a Super AMOLED display. It is 5 inches, so 5 inches is the size of the display. It's a 720p panel, so 720 by 1280 pixels. 294 pixels per inch with a 16:9 aspect ratio. It has really good outdoor performance in the sunlight and is overall a pretty damn good OLED panel from 2013. This thing runs BlackBerry OS 10.3.1. Let me show you it right here. It initially shipped with BlackBerry OS 10.2, but now it is updated to 10.3.1. Let me cover the serial number. As you can see, BlackBerry OS version 10.3.1.634. So that is the OS it is running. BlackBerry OS 10 is a pretty interesting OS. As you can see, I mentioned this earlier in my BlackBerry Leap video, which you can find up here. In the BlackBerry Leap video, I showed you that the BlackBerry OS 10 is a very interesting OS. It does not have like an app drawer like that. Instead, all the apps you open, for example, let's open the camera. All the apps you open are on your home screen like this. So you can swipe like that and it's on your home screen. Let me open settings again. So as you can see, you open another app, assistant. Is that an app or is it a pop-up? Okay, so as you can see, it appears on your home screen like that, and you can delete them or reopen them from here. So pretty interesting OS. BlackBerry, I keep messing up the word BlackBerry, I don't know why. And BlackBerry OS 10, pretty interesting OS, kind of a great alternative to Android and iOS, but then again, it also was a failure eventually. It didn't really kickstart off too great in full-scale smartphones. BlackBerry OS worked on those QWERTY phones, QWERTY business phones, the BlackBerry QWERTY business phones. That thing worked really well back in the day on those phones. However, when they put it into full-scale smartphones like this, it was a failure. Kind of like Symbian. Eventually, over time, it ended up failing and being taken off. So there were so many great options instead of iOS and Android that sadly went into oblivion because of competition and them just not doing anything out of the box. The best example is Windows. Well, Windows was kind of out of the box, but its lack of apps and stuff was its downfall. BlackBerry OS 10 was very specific. Not a lot of people really liked the interface and stuff, but I like it. I'd gladly live with it, but sadly that's not the same for everyone. Looking under the hood of this phone, and again, let me remind you, everything what I'm saying here is applicable to the final release model. This prototype is just a software prototype. AT&T probably, when they plug this phone to their system, they can probably access the dev kit tools and stuff, basically stuff for AT&T developers and network engineers and stuff. So I cannot access those here, but I'm pretty sure AT&T employees can when they plug it to their computer. That's the only difference between this phone and a standard phone that you can find at the shop. This is a somewhat of a, I know I said it's not a dev kit, but it is a dev kit for telecommunication companies, but not standalone developers. So looking under the hood, we can see that this thing is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro. The S4 Pro is a dual-core processor clocked in at 1.7 gigahertz with a Crate core. The variant of the Snapdragon S4 used on the Blackberry Z3 is the MSM8960T. So MSM8960T is the variant of the Snapdragon S4 Pro. It has a Adreno 320 as its GPU. It has a micro SD card slot for expansion, 16 gigs of internal storage, and 2 gigs of RAM. So that is basically the specs for this phone. It runs perfectly fine, and I should actually do a video on using this phone here in 2021. So if I ever do that, stay tuned by subscribing. So the camera on this thing kind of surprised me, because when I read the older reviews and stuff, people said the camera is very crappy and then it's very specific to lighting conditions. Now the lighting condition thing is true. This phone is very picky about lighting conditions. You cannot have too much variation in light or it starts freaking out, the autofocus goes crazy and stuff. However, given proper lighting conditions like a bright sunny day, as the day I went and took the camera samples, the photos turned out really nice. These photos are actually some of the nicest photos that I've done in a couple of recent days, with relevance to 2013. Obviously, they're not going to compare to an iPhone 12 Pro Max, but there's still very good photos with relevance to a phone from 2013 from a manufacturer that does not specialize in camera technology or photos that look nice. However, they're really good photos and you'll see them in a bit. So the camera on this thing is an 8 megapixel autofocus camera with an f2.2 aperture and a 31mm lens. It has a single LED flash, so single tone, single LED flash. It has an HDR feature and panorama as well. And it can shoot video at 1080p at 30 FPS. It can also shoot video at 720p at 60 FPS, but it's still limited to 720p at 60 FPS. But the video that I'm putting up in the sample is 1080p at 30 FPS because the 720p doesn't look too great, but the 1080p 30 FPS is more than enough. The front camera on this phone is a simple 2 megapixel front camera that can shoot video at 720p at 30 FPS, and I'll put a few selfies from that as well. So now I'll go ahead and put these samples up, first starting from daytime photos taken from the rear camera, and then some selfies taken from the front camera, followed by video taken from the rear camera, again at 1080p at 30 FPS. So as you saw with those camera sample photos, the camera on this phone is really good actually for a phone from 2013 from a company that does not specialize in camera technology. They did a really decent job there with the camera, and I mean for the price at the time and what it is, I would have perfectly been okay with that camera because this is a business phone. This is not a phone for leisure and stuff. I mean, people would have used it for stuff other than business, but still, that's BlackBerry. It's mainly focused on business, and that's kind of why BlackBerry needed to be a bit more flexible, because not everyone is just gonna buy phones for business. They need other things too, and they should start including features that like a standard user would want, because again, at the end of the day, any businessman who's using the single phone and does not have an iPhone or an Android on the side would like to use some other features as well. So if BlackBerry is to come back to the market, they should focus more on those. Well, they're running Android now, so why not? Yeah, and so that kind of solves all the problem. But if they were to ever bring back BlackBerry OS, and I hope they kinda do, I have this because I really want other manufacturers to start testing out new OSs, because we need more selection. We need more than just iOS and Android. We need, I hope Windows Phone comes back. I hope Symbian comes back. There's a couple of Chinese companies making up newer OSs, Linux-based OSs. I hope those come up, because we need more than just Android and Apple. So let me know down in the comments what you think about the OS selection we have today. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about all the other features this phone has, starting off with the battery on this thing. So the battery on this thing is a 2880 milliamp hour battery. Like I said, it's non-removable, though the back cover comes off. It has a standby time of 384 hours on 3G and 18 hours of talk time on 3G, as well as 25 hours of talk time on 2G. The phone came only in this color, black and gray, so you didn't have a color option there. And it has a bunch of other minor features such as USB on the go and stuff like that. Now let's demo the stereo speakers on this thing, because the stereo speakers on this phone are actually quite really nice. Okay, so I realized that there's no music player on this thing, so I couldn't transfer any music to play on this thing. This music is royalty-free music, basically the same stuff I use in the background audio for my videos, so I won't run into trouble with YouTube on that. So let's max out the volume here, and we are using the browser because that's the only way I can play it. So this is Dan Henig's Subway Dreams, basically my intro song, the song that I play at the intro. So let's play that. So this is max volume. So as you heard there with that bit of sample, the speakers on this phone are really good. They're really clear and precise as well. So I was really surprised with what BlackBerry did with the speakers on this phone. Stereo speakers, really loud, can easily fill a medium-sized room. Really good job on the speakers there, BlackBerry. So that was the BlackBerry speaker demo for the Z30. So as you can see, this software prototype for AT&T's evaluation is very identical to the final model. And if you've used one of these things, you'll know that basically everything that I showed you is stuff from the final model. But however, like I said, when AT&T plugs this thing into their evaluation testing software, whatever network testing software, they can access all the other stuff that this phone has. I do not have access to that software. I probably can get it from somewhere online, but whatever. This thing is missing a gallery, it's missing a audio player and stuff like that. But I still can view photos from here. Where is it? There we go. I can still view photos from there, and I can click it and bring up the photos. So a very interesting thing to see what an evaluation unit looks like. And it's not too different, except the software differences when compared to the final model. Now, like I showed you earlier, if you want to see a full-scale hardware development prototype, a mid-development prototype, you can go check out my Nokia N8 video. that I put up a couple of months back, the N8 prototype, which is an actual hardware prototype. So if you want to go see that, go check that out. I have another prototype coming. This one is a fully developed, however, finally canceled one. So this phone was fully developed, however, it was canceled at the last moment in favor of another phone. It's the Sony Ericsson Paris, or the P5i, Sony Ericsson Paris P5i. It was a phone that Sony Ericsson developed and then decided to cancel at the last moment. I know like only 4 of them that exist. 2 of them on eBay, 2 of them are on this guy on Reddit. This guy I know on Reddit, he owns them, and I got my hands on one of them from eBay. So that thing is on its way from China, so stay tuned to see that prototype as well. That phone is going to be very, very interesting because it's unreleased hardware, so stay tuned for that by hitting that subscribe button. But either way, that was the BlackBerry Z30 prototype that I got off Mercari a couple of months ago. As usual, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I thank you for watching it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button as well, and as well as my social media down in the description below. Thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video.